And moving on, US President Donald Trump on Tuesday ordered a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers entering and leaving Venezuela. In fact, warning that US naval armada will only get bigger until Caracas returns all of the oil, land and other assets that they stole from the US. Now, Trump's remarks came a week after the US seized a sanctioned oil tanker off Venezuela's coast, the latest move in Washington's pressure campaign against President Nicolas Maduro's government, which Trump blames for drug trafficking into the US. Also, Maduro, speaking at an event, said imperialism and the far-right forces want to colonize Venezuela to take over its wealth of oil, gas, gold, among other minerals. Maduro lauded to defend his homeland. Trump's campaign has included a ramped-up military presence in the region and more than 24 military strikes on vessels in the Pacific Ocean and Caribbean Sea near Venezuela, which have killed at least 90 people. Now, Trump has also said that US land strikes on the South American country will soon start. And for more on this, we have Akshay Dongre joining us. Well, Akshay, from a practical standpoint, how risky is a US naval blockade of Venezuelan oil tankers legally and diplomatically? And what kind of backlash could Washington face from allies or under international law?
As far as the risks are concerned, there are immense number of risks that are involved in this kind of a naval blockade. That are seen in situations like war, in situations like heightened security activities, the reason that have been given as far as this naval blockade is concerned are not sufficient enough to justify it, because even if you're accusing Venezuela of drug trafficking, the US has been accusing Venezuela of drug trafficking. There are legal channels which can be sought as far as controlling these cartels are concerned, gangs are concerned, that are sending all of these shipments of drugs, of narcotics to your borders. You can strengthen your own departments that are vetting the ships coming in. But to naval blockade a country diplomatically, it's a disaster, because Venezuela, while it doesn't have as many allies or doesn't have a standing equal to the US as far as military firepower is concerned, but it does have its own international rights under the Geneva Conventions and under the various international forums, this seems quite illegal as far as the action is concerned, because Venezuela also has trade ties with several other countries, including China, including Russia, countries of other parts of the world. So these can be challenged as far as international courts are concerned, and it's quite a disaster, all in all, as far as this act of hostility is concerned. Back to you.
Right, Akshay, as you mentioned it, Venezuela, of course, have their own international rights. So what does this escalation mean for the balance of power? And could it actually weaken Maduro's grip on power or end up strengthening him at home? What impact could this have on Venezuela's oil exports and regional stability as well?
Well, at this point in time, Lipakshi, it's quite speculative, because we do not know how the international bodies are going to respond. Something that we know from the recent conflicts that have happened in the world, the bodies like the United Nations at least have been quite useless as far as stopping major conflicts are concerned, and similar goes for these kind of illegal actions. However, if enough pressure is mounted, then something can be done as far as naval blockade is concerned. You cannot blockade a country based on your assumptions, based on your allegations. It has to be substantiated by facts on the ground. But the standing of Maduro, at least at this point on the world stage, his this kind of illegal action is only going to strengthen his legitimacy over power, because Maduro has been going around his country stating that this country is being challenged by the US, it's being attacked by the US, and US imperialism is being accused by the Maduro government. And honestly, the Trump administration, except for leveling allegations of narcotics trade, has nothing more to say as far as why this naval blockade is being done. Earlier actions were being taken, ships were being taken into custody. So all of this at this point in time is only strengthening Maduro's legitimacy over power, that his country is being attacked and he's the leader of the country that is trying to secure the national interests.
All right. Thank you so much, Akshay, for all those details.